Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. It's quite early in the morning because I have to get my workout in before the two games that I have today to coach. For my workout today, I have some back extensions, which I'm going to use 35 pounds again, most likely. Then some power snatches up to 135 pounds. Clean and jerks up to 235 pounds. I could potentially push that a little bit, but most likely would probably stick around that weight and just try to hit a really clean rep, especially with the jerk. The clean shouldn't be any sort of issue, but the jerk is always the more difficult of the two components of that movement. Then I have clean pulls, so that pulling motion up to 250, so that shouldn't be, I mean, anything deadlift type movement is super easy for me. Then I just have deadlifts up to, it was for 455 for a set of 5, and that's kind of a pyramid from 415 for 2 sets of 5, that top set of 455, and drop back down for a set of 5 with 415. So more of a volume day with deadlifts, and then some ab work after that. So pretty straightforward day. It should go relatively quick. Deadlifts will probably take the longest, well, probably clean and jerks because there's a lot of work with it, but nothing too radical with it. I moved the bench press stuff to tomorrow, so there is that, but other than that, really isn't too much else to talk about. I hope I can find my wallet. Hopefully it's in my car, and hopefully I have a good workout, but I'll catch you all after my workout. Peace. Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. Before I get in this video, I must say that talk radio is complete garbage, and I'm glad the radio is dying because having Bluetooth or aux cord or something is much better because I can listen to whatever I want and not just the cringe that is the radio nowadays. But anywho, that's completely off topic. My workout today went very well. I did have to cut out some stuff. I didn't do back extension, abs, and I cut down deadlifts a little bit. But my workout started with some power snatches, and I was up to 135 pounds, and I was really working on still trying to extend later, but trying to really keep that bar path close to me and catch it in a better position where I'm more vertical at the top and not because when I look at the video of myself, I have a tendency to bend forward to get under the bar because the bar travels far away from me. So kind of keeping the bar close to me, you know, knuckle unders, all that stuff, and just trying to catch it more vertically, which basically by the end I did an extra rep with those, and on that one, that was my best feeling rep. That's why I only did one on the on the extra set. And I basically just did the same thing I was doing on the other ones, but I was trying to throw it behind me more. And so trying to keep my knuckles under, but kind of pulling towards my chin, and then just getting my face out of the way, or at least, I mean, I'm sure I wasn't really that close to my face, but the perception that I was close. And just trying to improve that and getting that to be faster. I think it looked better. My catching position, I think, looked a bit better, but obviously I have to be able to maintain that with heavier weights and on a consistent basis. So definitely a positive step in that regard. I'm feeling at least what I think are positive cues and good things to work on with those. So good day for snatch work. That was really it for snatches. It was a light day, relatively speaking, for those. Clean and jerks went to be pretty heavy. The top set was a 1+1, so 1 clean, 1 jerk. At 235, I was able to power clean it up, and the jerk felt pretty good. Jerks felt better today. I was trying to actually do the same thing I was doing with snatches, where I'm trying to push it behind me more, because I have a tendency to push straight up even when I do overhead presses and stuff, and that puts me at a bad leverage position to hold the weights up. And part of the reason why my shoulders are weak is because of that. I don't take advantage of natural levers to be able to get more weight up, and obviously over time, if you're not lifting heavy weights, you don't get stronger. So I definitely have to continue to improve on that and get it to be more consistent. But the heavy jerk that I did with the 235 on the heaviest set felt good, so I'm happy with that. My current best completed rep clean and jerk was a 245, so that's a very high percentage. I'm using the training max, or at least in the program, but it is 255 because I was very close to that. And I talked about that in the past. I mean, I'm just using it as a training max because I think I could probably do that if I was fresh, and I think it's, at least for me, I can definitely push what I'm doing as far as maxes and stuff. But after that, after the clean jerks, I had clean pulls, and that was up to 255, and those weren't bad. Just trying to move it fast and do knuckle under, all that stuff, trying to just keep a good bar path that's close to my body, and work on that timing of the extension part once it's past your legs, because from the ground to my knees when I'm doing cleans or anything is very extremely easy. It's just everything after that is where things can break down, because I'm very good at deadlifting, so that off the floor isn't an issue. Just when I'm actually deadlifting heavy weights off the floor is an issue, but with such submaximal weights, it's actually kind of it's kind of nice to do clean pulls because you can move them very quickly. I then had deadlifts after those. I originally was going to do 2 sets of 5 at 415, a set of 5 at 455, and then a set of 3 at 415. I decided to make all of those sets of 3, which I found to be much more manageable and probably a good decision, because I was felt grindy on some of them. I wasn't really, I'm guessing. But when you're doing clean pulls and you're able to move very quickly, when you can't, then it feels exponentially slower. But with deadlift work, the more I'm doing them and trying to fit them in, seeing how they fit in based on the other work, I will probably keep the rep scheme lower, but do on the last set of 3 that I did with 415, I did a negative on the very last rep, like a very controlled negative, almost all the way to the floor. Add, I think that was a good thing to add, because obviously eccentric breaks down more muscle, but to do little things like that, but also just to work on speed off the floor and just trying to be as explosive as I can pulling it, because then once it's off the floor, I can deadlift, you know, however much weight I want to. There's not really a limit for that strength-wise. It's more of what I can get off the floor in a good position. I think that will help deadlifts in the future, but it'll also help my ability to clean and just be a more explosive person in general with that. I didn't do back extensions or ab work just because I was fried out from the deadlifts and clean and jerk work. I'll probably do lots of abs tomorrow because I have another workout tomorrow, obviously, and the good mornings or whatever tomorrow. My back was just kind of, you know, tired from deadlifts, and I figured that doing heavy-ish deadlifts is a good substitute for back extensions. I don't really need to add those in. If I didn't do deadlifts, then I definitely would have done them, but don't really feel the need to do them. But now it's time for me to go home and get a shower and get ready to go to my games today that I'm coaching, and yeah, that's really about it that I have. I don't know if I'll do a third part today. If I do, it'll be tonight, so I don't have any idea what I will be talking about, because I don't have any ideas about that now. So hopefully I do have something to talk about, and that you all stay tuned for that. So I'll catch you all in the next part or in the next video if you click off here. Peace. Hi everyone. In this third part of this video, I want to talk about a mind shift that I've had as I've gotten older that has allowed me to kind of make better goals and to make better progress than I did when I was younger. So when I was younger, my goal was to improve in baseball and basketball, and whatever skills entailed in those. I wanted to throw faster, hit better, shoot for higher accuracy, dunk a basketball, all of those sort of things. Everything that I was doing was geared towards those things. When I started lifting, it was to get better at baseball, because basketball had just about subsided at that time. It was not to get, you know, stronger itself. Something that was extremely valuable for me, I guess sort of motto, and I'm sure my dad was the first one to say this, but he said the first goal of lifting weights and exercise is to be healthy. If you're not healthy, you're not playing baseball, you're not doing anything because you're hurt. So the first goal is to remain healthy. Everything else are side effects. So the muscles, the strength, all of that, you know, those are side effects. Obviously there's different levels of importance with that. You want the stay healthy, you want the skill performance and the, you know, power performance, but then muscles and things like that are tertiary things that aren't really as important. And I have really embrace that growing up, because I was always very self-conscious about my chest because of the gynecomastia I had to a pretty small extent, and thankfully got a little better, but until I got surgery and whatnot. But I never wanted to worry about that because I had no plans of showing off anything that I had going on. It was not something I had planned on doing at any point, and I still don't plan like doing a bodybuilding show or anything crazy like that. That would be just never gonna happen. There's no easy way to say it. There's no more simple way to say that. But outside of trying to improve those skills, I went very hard-headed at those things, thinking that if I just put in a lot of work, just work, that I would improve at those. Now that is true to an extent, but smart hard work is better than just blind hard work, and I was doing a lot of blind hard work, and I I guess I can kind of blame my youth on that, and thinking that I would just get better just by working hard, and that's really not the case, at least in my experience. It's very important to develop a plan. I was always very good at making plans, you know, go out and throw this far, go out and do this and this and this, but I was very good at the, you know, planning on what I wanted to do in that particular day and the next day, and, you know, creating things that I wanted to work on whenever I went at that particular time. What I struggled at was sort of planning weeks and months and a whole year of what I wanted to improve on, the different timelines for improving, and developing goals that are still day to day, since, you know, you train or whatever daily or most days of the week or whatever, but creating goals that feed into larger goals and into larger things. Now, one thing I wanted to do baseball was to improve my throwing velocity. I didn't throw fast enough. I don't think anyone that plays as a pitcher thinks that they throw fast enough unless they're Chapman, which most people aren't Adrales Chapman, or however you say his first name, Chapman, and throw 105 miles per hour. So most people would like to throw a little bit faster. But throughout that time, I never worried about accuracy. I didn't worry about developing mechanics that promoted accuracy. It was just velocity. How hard can I throw, and just how hard can I throw, and how hard can I throw. That was literally all I focused on, and I was able to improve in that aspect. It wasn't as if my hard work, I just didn't get any better at it. I was able to long toss. I think the furthest I threw was 330 feet, which is about the length of a football field, and I was able to do that. Was I able to, you know, get close and throw accurately? No, not at all. I still struggle with that. You know, when I go out and coach with my team, I'll sometimes throw a little bit, and it's still something I really have to focus on. And I've made adjustments this year with how I throw that has allowed me to just relax, throw hard, but to throw it accurately, because if I'm all over the place, it doesn't really matter. You know, me throwing right now doesn't matter in the slightest. So if I can't throw accurately, I'm a liability when I'm warming up someone, or if I'm throwing at any aspect of the field, I'm a liability. But the fact that I'm much stronger than I was when I did play before allows me to throw faster and to just put more velocity into the ball. So combining those two aspects, I'm throwing right now with my best mechanics I've ever had, and this is like after a year of not throwing hardly at all. And I would say, obviously I haven't been clocked on a radar gun, but the fastest, and that's just from like a couple adjustments, and it took a month. And I think about all that time that I toiled and tried and all these videos and thought of all these, you know, things, when the answers are really simple. And part of it was making a better plan, but I think outside of that, a second little thing is just relaxing and enjoying the process and not pressing too hard all of the time. Obviously, if you lift weights, you know, it's important to press and try to get a PR sometimes, but if you're doing that all the time, you're going to burn out. And I burnt out well before I actually stopped throwing, and I never realized it till I stopped throwing, that I was burnt out from not even so much the work aspect, because I enjoyed that. I enjoy throwing, I enjoy working hard, but my body is not the same way. My body is not infinite and able to do all the things that I would like it to do. I would like to lift 7 days a week for 3 hours a day. I'm that crazy to where I would enjoy that and not having any life and doing all that stuff. Now, would my knees like to work out 3 hours a day, 7 days a week intensely? Probably not. Would my shoulders or elbows or any joint in my body be able to handle that? Probably not. But up here, yeah, that thing could lift for 8 hours a day and be completely chill, but the rest of me would be in shambles with it. And the message that I want to, I guess, end this part of this video on and really impart to you all is that when you're developing plans, whether it be for fitness or life or really anything, is to think of the macro goals. Think of what you generally want to happen, and perhaps you make it a goal that's a bit of a stretch, something that's going to be extremely difficult, that is still possible. Not like I said I wanted to squat 1,000 pounds. I want to squat 600. You know, something that is in the realm of physical possibility. But you want to create those giant goals and then do little things to figure out how you're going to get to those goals that you can do in the day-to-day and the week-to-week and the month-to-month. But to create those goals, but to not stress about it. As long as you're pushing yourself as much as you can smartly, then you don't have to worry about things. And I don't really worry about my progress. Obviously, I like to get stronger and all of that, but I'm pushing myself pretty damn hard right now. So I'm not worried about the fact that I'm not as strong as I want to be. I'll never be as strong as I want to be. But as long as I keep pushing myself and trying to improve my strength and the motor skills that are involved in weightlifting or powerlifting or whatever, then I'm pretty confident that I'll get stronger. Now, how strong I will get, who knows? Will I blow out my knee at some point or get hit by a car? Could happen. But I'm not worried about those things, because as long as I'm doing the things that are intelligent and thinking about why I'm doing these things, not just here's a plan, I'm going to go work really hard and then magically get better, but I'm going to think, alright, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and then D is going to happen. I never had that last little bit of figuring out what is going to happen to prove that A, B, and C worked. And with any plan that you make, figure out what you need to do and be able to assess if it worked or not, because if it's not working, then you need to figure out something else. But I'll end this part here. If you made it this far, I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.